Shh. Welcome to episode 23 of Motormouth. Here's your host, Brendan Kelly.
Hello everybody and welcome to yet another turbocharged episode of Motormouth, the show that keeps you up to date with the latest motorsports news and action from the Eastern Cape. My name is Brendan Kelly. As usual, Paul Bedford is our man doing final mix in Pretoria, and in Port Alfred is our producer, the discombobulated Daryl Cookard. After the internet issues that plagued us for the last 2 or 3 weeks, everything seems to be working a-okay. Paul has made some changes. We're spreading the load on various computers, so everything is looking a hell of a lot better. So let's have a good show. We have unfortunately had to bid farewell to our main sponsors who helped us launch the show. And once again, would like to thank Emerald Fire along with Fifth Color Branding for believing in us and helping us to get Motormouth from being just an idea to becoming a reality. So thanks very much, guys. Should anybody be interested in sponsoring the show, please would you contact Daryl Cookard on 082-428-4558 or via email on the following address, daryl@qcardtelevision.co.za. We are also looking for sponsorship to live stream the Cyrobricks 3-hour race, the Clinicaire P200 and Cellular City Regionals on the 28th of November. So there are various affordable packages available. So please feel free to contact either myself or Daryl to find out a little bit more about what is available. Then well done to Debbie Marais. We mentioned her initiative a couple of times on the show in getting our Algoa Motorsport marshals kitted out in new jackets after some atrocious weather conditions that we've had during the duration of the season. And thanks very much to the following people for getting behind this idea and making it become a reality. George van Balen from Emerald Fire, Bronwyn Hickson from Fifth Color Branding, Picky Marais from Cyrobricks Recycling, Nick Davidson from Stu Davidson's and Sons. I'm just hearing in my ear that Paul's got a problem loading the photograph of the marshals in their jackets. I'm sure we'll get it up in the next couple of minutes, hopefully. Then Gordon Nicholson from Golden Street Guesthouse, Mario Derrida from Injectors for You, Jacques Theron from the Ivy Clinic, and of course us, the Motormouth team. Thanks as well to each and every person that took raffle tickets, and a special word of thanks to Picky Marais for sponsoring the main prize in the raffle. Folks, please hit the share button so that you can help us reach a bigger audience. We are also going out live on YouTube as well. On to tonight's show, we're going to focus on the VW Motorsport National Race Meeting that took place this past weekend at Scrivante with GTC Super Cup, Oettinger Polo Cup, national motorcycles providing non-stop action in each and every race. Next, on to our first guest of the show. It's a very, very good evening and welcome to the man who has just clinched his 7th SA title. Welcome to the show, Clint Seller.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, congratulations, man. It must be a really special feeling to win another national championship. As I said, seven SA titles now.
Yeah, it's every title has its own challenges and has its own merits. So, we keep the ball rolling. The main thing is, I think for me, I just want to keep winning, and that's what keeps me motivated. So keep going, and there's a few more that I want to rack up.
Brilliant. Tell us a little bit about Saturday. What was the strategy going into the final round of the championship?
It was very much a case of stay on the motorcycle. As you guys saw in your intro, I have had a fall or two at PE that have been quite substantial. So I think I was actually talking to my wife on Saturday morning when I woke up, and I think I dreamt of about 900 ways to lose the championship. Which is not, she gave me a bit of encouragement and just said, love, go out there. So really the focus was, I took no risk at all and made sure that I could do the job and rack up the points necessary.
Great stuff. Just you mentioned that fall. There's obviously been a couple of changes at the circuit since you took that tumble. The runoff areas are a lot better, and obviously the surface is a lot better. Did you guys notice that during the course of the weekend?
I must be honest, I was glad not to notice the runoff areas. That made me happy. But yeah, I did. PE is one of the tracks that we always know. There's just so much grip. Particularly on motorcycles. It's a track where we always know we have to run a setup that is stiffer than what we run elsewhere, because the motorcycles have so much grip. So it's always one of those tracks where you can get sucked into pushing so deep and so hard into a corner that you maybe overdo it. But this weekend, I must be honest, I was riding a little bit tender, so the track seemed incredible to me on the weekend.
Sorry, we're just hearing a dogfight going on somewhere in the background. Where did it all start for you? After 7 championships, where did it all start? How long have you been racing?
So I've actually been racing since I was 3 years old. I raced junior motocross back in the days. I actually I have a picture of myself and Kieran Fitzgerald, who's top national boy now in motocross. To be fair, he beat me when we were young, but I raced motocross for quite a few years, and then actually went to go-karts. My father always used to race the Formula GTIs in years gone by, and he was passionate about car racing. I can honestly say, as a kid, I raced the go-karts and I enjoyed it. I had a bit of success, but it was not something that I woke up Saturday morning excited to go and do, But at about 15, I eventually convinced my dad to buy me it was actually one of Greg Dreher's bikes that he'd written off, which, we all know Greg, there was more than one, but I can say probably the same for myself. But my dad bought me one of Greg Dreher's old race bikes and started like that. 15, didn't race my first national that year, but I raced my first regional, ended up qualifying pole and then destroying the motorcycle in the race. But I was really far in the lead. And my dad actually said to me, okay, now that you've fallen off and see how hard it is, can we stop this motorcycle thing? And I said to him, Dad, you mad? Did you see how good I was going before? And for me, the passion sort of built there. I then was quite fortunate to move into a pro ride with Robbie Peterson's team, and even probably before that, Creepy Crawly Suzuki. So was quite fortunate to get rides that were a little bit of money in the pocket, as well as quite prestigious rides. And then that was it. For me, it was my life. My wife often says to me, I actually told her when we first started dating that if I win 7 championships, I'll retire. 6 championships, she now reminds me. Apparently I said 6 and we're already on 7. And before I wrap this one up, I told her that we might have to go a bit past it. But it just seems, it's part of my life. It's part of my existence. I think it keeps me fit and healthy and focused on goals, which I think is quite important for my life and even my family life.
What would you say your ultimate career highlight so far? What's the one, the big one that really sticks out for you?
Jeez, it's not easy to pick because each one really has its it's my first SA championship, I would say, was really sort of quite special, which was in 2012. But I would also say my first world endurance race, which was the Le Mans 24-hour. And although at the time when I finished it, I couldn't even open my eyelids. I was so destroyed as a human being from riding for that long and that hard. But that was probably one of the ones that if I'm honest, when I'm sitting around the fireplace with friends talking about racing highlights, that's probably the one that I bring up the most.
I see we've got quite a couple of people have joined the show. Jan Dorfling saying, you rode like an absolute superstar this weekend. So great to have them along. And then
Thanks,
Barry
man.
Capellis watching with us, Sean Gradwell, Lionel Taylor, Debbie Bartle, lots of people already watching the show with us this evening. So great to have them with us. We've obviously got lots of South Africans doing really well overseas at the moment. The Binder brothers, but then the likes of the guys that are in the States, Cam Peterson, Dominic Doyle, and of course we've got a local youngster, Riche Mudley, who's over there. Obviously the son of Arushan. Do you follow what's going on overseas? Do you keep a finger on the pulse there?
Absolutely, yeah. I must be honest. Motorcycling is my passion. It's not just something that I do enjoy doing. I really enjoy watching it. Watch every single Moto America race. That was also a part of my career. I raced in America. I raced for Graves Yamaha. So that's something that I keep quite an eye on with as well, because obviously you've been there and the experiences that are there, and it's quite special how well the guys are doing, as well as having raced against both Cam and Matthew Scholz very closely. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. Even as much as Sheridan Marias is my teammate in the World Endurance Series as well at a French team, R2CL. So when I'm here and he's over doing other events as well, you keep a real close eye on it, because when we're overseas, we spend a lot of time together, and you grow to be friends with the guys, and also you wish the guys the absolute best, because I do know the talent and I do know the effort level that's being put in. Obviously, I don't think there can be a South African person that be in this country or not in this country that is not a fan of the Binder brothers. So I'm definitely right in there. A huge fan of the incredible stuff they're doing.
Yeah, no, they've just become absolute legends in the short time that they have done so well over there. They're just such nice, approachable guys, and we've seen photographs of them with the young Riche Mudley, who when they were over in Spain, and they've certainly taken to Riche and taken him under their wing and been mentoring them and coaching them. So it must be absolutely brilliant for the guys overseas at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Riche is also lucky because he has a dad that is pretty handy on a motorcycle as well. I raced, head to head with Arishan for a few championships and a few places. So, it's pretty cool to see his little youngster coming along. And, by all accounts, I've actually never seen him race live, when he was over here in South Africa. But I've spoken to a lot of guys that do, and they say that his level that he's picked up since he's been over there is been huge steps, and I think that's due to guys like Darren and Brad, obviously, mentoring him there.
Yeah, no, we obviously get to see the pace that he's got around. First of all, around Chelsea Scribante, the short circuit, the kart track. On that little motard bike of him, he's absolutely phenomenal. Needless to say, what he's doing out on the main circuit as well. So it certainly bodes well for South Africans racing overseas and getting across there now at such a young age. I think of Dominic Doyle as well in Moto America as well. He's had some brilliant results.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he won the first 4 races at the Moto America Championship this year. I think he's definitely up against some stiff competition there with American youngsters like Rocco Landers and that.
Rocco Landers, so,
I think he represented himself really well. And, I think a lot of people, and I certainly can speak from experience, being overseas, it's, the bits that we see on Facebook are the glamorous bits. That's the cool times. That's the great times when you're out there riding the motorcycle. But, you've got to exist as a human being, and it's not easy. It's not easy going over there. It's not easy living in countries where you've got no family. It's not easy living in countries where your currency that your parents, your sponsors are paying or giving you money in is very weak in comparison. So it's, I give a super amount of credit to the guys that have done what they're doing. And, I think we can see with guys, particularly, one for me is Cam Peterson, who went over there. And I know I was over in the US, and it gets hard, it gets tough, and you battle through it. And for me, I had an opportunity to come back here where I was going to earn a bit of money, and I chose that route. Whereas I've seen that guys like Cam and that stuck it out through those tough times, and it's really cool to see that that they're reaping the rewards. And I think Brad Binder is probably one that, man, he had some tough years. He had some really not good bikes in Moto3, and he hung it out, and they kept plugging away at it, and now he's considered one of the best motorcycle riders in the world, and everyone can see his talent every weekend.
Yeah, no, that's great. I had a chat to Dominic Doyle's father, Ronnie, out at the circuit on Saturday, and he said exactly the same thing. He said, as a foreigner taking on the Americans, he says all the any decision making and that is always slanted in the favor of the Americans. So it's great to see them putting in such big performances. But let's go back onto to the local scene. Obviously, costs and COVID, they've taken a serious toll on our biking numbers, and it's down in all national classes. Is there a plan in place to get guys back on track and racing nationals to emulate all the guys that are racing internationally now?
Absolutely. COVID was super tough. Myself from the fact that I own the team, and I was really nervous. I was very fortunate that I had and have the sponsors that I have that literally said to me, Clint, we can't wait to go racing. Let's go racing. They were looking forward to it, but that is difficult. It's not an easy thing to come out of. So yeah, towards the end of the year, absolutely, we saw dwindling grids. Unfortunately, like you say, motorsport is a very expensive activity and a very, very expensive sport to partake in. So it is one of the things that happen at the end of the year. I know at the moment I spend quite a lot of time on the phone with Roy Gardner, who organizes the SASBK series, and he's literally gone every week, and he goes and sees a different manufacturer and a different not really sponsor, but manufacturers, to get support from them, because from myself, who runs a team, and a rider, it's a lot better when there's manufacturer support behind us, which is
looks like the internet gremlins have crept in once again. Let's see, just give him a moment to see if he reconnects. I've got one more question for him. We believe he's moving to the Honda stable next year, so we'll see if we can get hold of Clint again. Going to the same sponsor, but a different motorcycle. He's joining the Honda stable. So, folks, let's go to a quick advert break. We're going to go to advert break, and then after the break, we'll chat to a man who certainly had a busy weekend at Scribanti last weekend, the head of VW Motorsport, Mike Rowe. With over 60 years of financial planning experience, Skybridge Capital has sound solutions for your financial needs. Our client commitment and unbiased approach enables us to build tailored investment portfolios for the individual and their changing circumstances. We specialize in retirement and estate planning, wills and deceased estates, as well as local and offshore investment planning. Prano Eco Car Wash is a new waterless concept in cleaning cars. You can give either Bavi or Matthew a call for prompt and efficient service. Their numbers are on the flyer that is on the screen. These guys are mobile, so will clean your car wherever it is convenient for you to have it done. Prano Eco Car Wash, a new waterless concept in cleaning cars.
I'm back.
Right, as we said, it's a very good evening to Mike Rowe. Mike, welcome to Motormouth.
Evening, Brendan. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. As I said, you certainly had a busy weekend at Scribanti. The highlight, the Polo Cup Championships coming to a climax, and at your home circuit. So that must have certainly been a highlight for you and for VW in general.
Well, look, it's always good to have the Volkswagen product in Port Elizabeth, being close to the plant. Sadly, the fans weren't able to come along and see the cars, but that's just unfortunately the way it is right now. But we did have an activation at TAFCOR, so we had quite a few fans there on Wednesday to come and have a look at and at the Super Cup cars. So But yeah, Oettinger Polo Cup is such a success story, and we were absolutely thrilled to have it, to have the finale here back here in Port Elizabeth.
Yeah, and the championship certainly went down to the wire. We'll chat a little bit with our next guest, Clinton Bezuidenhout, about that. But I mean, there just seems to be such an exciting young breed of driver coming through in Polo Cup. And Polo Cup for years, it's been the backbone of motor racing, and has evolved over time. So are there any tweaks in the near future for Polo Cup?
Look, I think our success has been the fact that we make sure we have stability, we keep it affordable. So there's nothing major for next year in terms of change. We always look at slight technical things to make the car, if there any reliability issues. Not that we have had any, but we do little things just to make sure that we keep the cars reliable and make sure that the series stays competitive. But we make sure that it doesn't hit the competitor in the pocket. So there's a few things, but nothing major.
Just when you say competitive, what really blew me away over the weekend was that I think at one stage the top 10 cars were all within a second of each other, and I mean that's almost like go-kart racing.
Yeah, we've already had the top 20 within 9/10 of each other, which is incredible. I mean, that's testimony to how equal the cars are. We spend a lot of time and have a lot of controls in place to make sure that the cars stay very equal and that everyone has equal opportunity.
And I mean, then there's some hot youngsters coming through. I just think of Leighton Fourie. For him to grab pole on Saturday was absolutely mind blowing. You see these little guys growing up in go-karts, and the next thing they're on the front row of a grid in a national car series.
Sure, I think Leighton is for sure the find of the season. He's got he's backed by a wonderful family, and I think he's a little bit reminiscent of when Sheldon van der Linde joined the series at 14. Unfortunately, Leighton's age, well, he turned 15 in the second half of the season, which meant that he couldn't start in March because we did have an event in March just prior to lockdown. So he actually missed the first round, and considering that he has only done 3 of the 4 that we had, of the mandatory 4 that we had to do to have a championship. He still rocketed up the leaderboard at the end and managed to win the rookie championship, which is really fantastic. So yeah, he's certainly one to watch next year. He's going to be tough to beat.
No, absolutely. Well, let's chat a little bit about GTC, the whole GTC series that seemed to take take most of the brunt from the whole COVID pandemic. You guys used other avenues to showcase the absolutely beautiful Golf 8 GTIs, in the SA Endurance Series. Where is GTC going at this stage?
Look, I'm not really involved in the management team of GDC anymore, but I think GDC's had some tough times this year. We were late to start, so we missed the first. We planned an April start, which went pear-shaped because of lockdown. So then we didn't get going in August either. So which is why we brought our cars to PE. I mean, we also had a very traditional media launch at Zwartkops in March this year, and which was right in lockdown, so we had to cancel that. And then I think hopefully we'll touch on the live streaming in a minute. Is we actually did a digital launch, which this time it's been done and it was unbelievable. We had such huge global covering. Average that it's phenomenal. So yeah, we started late, but look, we've had 2 rounds now. Unfortunately, the cars won't be at Zwartkops this weekend, Let's see what's in store for next year. But it is an expensive series, so I think the guys are feeling it financially. I don't think we've seen the end of that. Sadly, I think we're in for tough times next year. But I think it's up to us to manage that and make sure that we keep it as affordable as possible for our competitors. So we're looking at ways and possibly even reducing the championship from 8 to 7 rounds, because it makes a big difference. One race meeting, all those costs make a big difference. So I think we must just keep our eye on the ball, make sure we make it attractive and affordable for the competitors.
I was very lucky on Saturday morning before the COVID police came out in force, and before there were too many of the VW mechanics in the pit, and got to have a close look at the GTIs. I don't think I have seen a neater, cleaner, mean looking race machine. Those cars are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, look, all the credit has to go to Nathan's Motorsport, and in particular Michael Ellis and Cameron. They have built a beautiful machine. It's arguably must be the best looking race car around right now.
Absolutely.
We're only launching Golf 8 in South Africa next year, so for the company to even to launch that car this year, it was very new, a very different thing for us to do, but it is stunning. Yeah, so yeah, we certainly weren't very happy after race 3 when they weren't looking as pretty as they were in the morning.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's racing. These things happen. But has there been much international interest in the cars?
Look, we've had a lot of media coverage internationally. There's about two publications in the UK, quite prominent publications that have run stories on it. And there's been quite a few, and there's been some interest from the US. And then other European countries have also done, written articles on it. I have got interest currently from Europe, so let's see where that heads. But yeah, unfortunately, the car is quite unique to its application for us. And it doesn't really fit into any series in Europe, but for sure, there seem to be customers that are interested in buying the car. So I'm busy with a guy in Germany at the moment, so let's see where that heads. Be nice to see them over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I see. Good evening to Andrew Bossoff. I see he's joined. I'm sure he's joined to find out a little bit about Clinton. I see they got really close 2 weeks ago while Clinton was down here. He seemed to have enjoyed himself. Let's shift the focus a little bit to the GTC Super Cup. That, to me, it's almost exploded from nowhere. That class has suddenly just erupted, and those cars certainly go and sound bloody nice as well.
Yeah, the class happened by accident, because we were building a sort of a car for our own use, which was a plan to go the hill climb. So we showed a concept car at Festival of Motoring last August, and then the interest just grew from there. And before we had orders, so we're busy building another 2 now. By the start of next season, there should be around 14. I've got about 3 customers in the wings at the moment, so I think very soon there's going to be. This thing could grow to 20 cars very, very quickly. We didn't expect them to be quite as fast as they are. To do the 3.8 around Scribanti is going. That's really, really fast. And they're actually quite simple cars. We've done a lot of work with the local industry. So we worked with Ken Westermeyer in KZN. He's the fantastic sequential gearbox for the car. It's also using local brakes. It uses a standard Golf R engine, standard turbocharger, everything. So, and we map it on pump fuel. So for what it is, it's really a phenomenal little car. And everyone, if you look at the guy firm when they get out of them, they're all having a really good time, and they really are enjoying the car. So we're excited about it. We're excited about the future of the class, and I think if we can a few more manufacturers to come. It's not a single make class, not by any means. It's designed to as a multi-brand. So certainly, would like to work with other manufacturers to bring some cars along. So, and I think if we can get a few more cars before long, we're going to have a grid of 20 to 25 cars, which will be, and I think it'll be great for South Africa. It's a very affordable car, affordable to run, easy to run, well controlled. The ECUs are locked, so there's no. Nobody, if you buy one, you don't have to chase after lots of development and stuff like that. So that's all. That's all controlled by the series. So there's really, you maintain it and drive it, and that's really what it's about.
Yeah, I think if you've hit the nail on the head there. If you've got affordability and reliability, and they are flipping quick, as we have seen, the guys are certainly going to have lots of fun with them.
Yeah, I think what surprised us the most is what they've been doing in the endurance events. I mean, in East London, the car finished second overall. It was really, really fast in the wet. We've been getting components from like Andre and Sol have been doing the most of the endurance events. So we've been getting components from them where we've got both of their transmissions to the workshop, stripped them down, had a look, to see what. Where the wear and tear is and what we need to look out for. And so far, I must say, they've been really, really, really good. The transmission guys just said, look, he thinks for the long races we need to run a cooler. So we're busy with that now. We've kit for all the cars so they can run the oil through a cooler just to keep the oil temps down a little bit. And that's really just because they run for such long distances. But I think there's to be quite a lot of interest in the 9 hour. I think we might see 4 or 5 of them at Killarney for the 9 hour. So yeah, it's proving to be a great all rounder, and that I think that's what we need to do for local motorsport, is give people something they can have fun with, and that's not going to break the bank.
No, absolutely. It certainly has given some hope, after the doom and gloom of COVID and where motor racing was for the last couple of months. And then let's turn the focus onto rallying as well. Now you've got the 1.2 liter Polo in rallies as well. That must also be an affordable car to run.
Yeah, we did some. Well, actually using the 3-cylinder 1 liter engine.
The 1 liter, yes.
Yeah, so we had one of our privateers, Paulus Franken. He was sort of a joint venture with him and built a car, and he did quite a lot of running down in the Cape with it. And now we've got Justers running in the national championship. So we're trying to create a bit of a cup series in rally. It works very well in Europe. So I certainly hope that it grows. We're trying to also again keep as cost effective as possible, so that's the same for everyone. Because that's where the costs run away, is when you have open regulations and everyone has to chase performance all the time. But if you keep a lid on that and allow competitors to chase off after development all the time, then it's affordable. So we have legendary Yanni Habich and his son. They've got a car, and he's also helping us with you always have niggles with the first car. So we're working closely with him, and we're improving all the time. But I must say the car is super reliable, and on the very fast flowing stages, it keeps up with the more expensive R2 cars. So. But I think for us, we want to carry on developing product for South African customers. I think that's what what we're about, and I think we did some the other day. In the last 3 years since we introduced the new Polo Cup car, we've built about 45 cars and 45 cars and sold them into motorsport in this country. And 45 doesn't sound like a big number, but if you consider like some of the manufacturers in Europe that sell 300 rally cars into the world. Then 45 is a big number for us. So we're proud of that, and we certainly want to want to carry on doing that, because somebody needs to provide the motorsport fan with a car to drive, and I think we've been doing quite well in that department.
Absolutely. I think, Mike, we're going to start wrapping it there. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, and congratulations on the achievements that VW Motorsport has had this past season. It certainly has gone out of the way to keep motorsport alive and kicking in South Africa.
Thanks very much, Brendan. We are certainly very happy with the Golf 8. Actually, after qualifying on pole and winning the first race at Red Star, I phoned my boss and I said, right, let's see what happens the rest of the day. Debu's been great. So we're happy with the Golf. It's had a fantastic two outings, and we certainly hope that it's going to carry on achieving great results for us. But thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it. No,
it's an absolute pleasure. One more question before you go is that, sure. I just, while I was in the commentary box, I was watching some of the live streaming, and I tell you what, it's certainly seems to be the way to go. I mean, the quality, I've mentioned it more than once on the show, that every event, the live streaming just seems to get better and better and better. The guys certainly did a top notch of live streaming this last one. I think on the Saturday, when I went to bed on Saturday night, there were almost 10,000 views on the live streaming already.
No, it's certainly the way to. Yeah, to Dave Peterson and his team, to Greg and Marius for the commentary, they did a great job, and I think we get better from here. And I think. People watch sport on their devices and their tablets, and people don't sit in front of their televisions on a Saturday anymore. So I think we've really turned a corner in bringing the sport to our fans. If COVID's done nothing else, it's challenged us to do better things. So let's just. I think we need to build on that, and I think. Our fans are in for some great entertainment in the future.
No, absolutely. And my two partners in Motormouth, obviously Paul and Daryl, will be assisting Dave this weekend at Swartkorps. So I wish I could be there. But
that's good to know.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Mike, thanks very much. As I said, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. It's been way too long. I mean, 23 episodes, and we're only getting you on now. But the focus has been on your lighty. So, lekker. Thanks very much. Have a good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
Folks,
cheers.
Cheerio. Bye-bye. We're going to go to another advert break, and then joining us after the break, the young superstar, Clinton Bezuidenhout.
Best Drive Treads Tyres East London, your complete one-stop car shop. Visit us for great deals on Continental and General tyres, as well as many other brands. For professional and friendly service, call us on 043 743 7564 or find us on Facebook at Treads Tyres. Treads Tyres is a proud sponsor of Eastern Cape Motorsport. Kies toe en pot. Tasty takeaways in Port Alfred.
Right, it's a very good evening to Clinton Bezuidenhout. Sorry for keeping you waiting so long, Clinton, but they say you often keep the best for last.
Thanks for having me, Brendan.
Yeah, it's nice to have you on the show. We've obviously spoken to Mike about Polo Cup. The championship certainly went down to the wire with your teammate Dario Bussi finally coming out on top. You finishing in a strong second place. Tell us a little bit about the season so far.
The season started off all right. Round one was there. There we got a overall for the day. So it put us in good contention for championship from start. And then lockdown came, so we sat at home for a couple of months, fixing lawnmowers, fixing cars, trying to fix the race cars. So yeah. And then after, as soon as lockdown ended, we had another round. Overall, which put us a little bit back in the championship. And then from there, we went to Red Star for after Swartkorps. They had a good round. I had my second race Polo Cup win there, and I had 2 wins on the day, so it put me back in contention for the championship. I was lying second, and then last weekend coming down to PE with 20 points more, so I tried my best. I definitely, I think if it wasn't for the SWAT Corps events where I got the 8th overall, we would have definitely a better, hotter and better shot to win the championship.
And then on Saturday, I mentioned it to Mike as well. You must have been surprised with Leighton Fourie. Where the hell did he get that pace from? I mean, the youngster grabbing pole position from you older, more experienced guys.
Yeah, already started testing in the Polo Cup car last year. He's done quite a couple of laps in the car, more than I think anybody has ever done in these new Polo Cup cars, that's for sure. But yeah, he drove like a champ on the weekend. Congrats to the Super Pole lap. Yeah, pole lap, I just missed the gear. Yeah, unfortunately, that just put me in place. But yeah, congrats to him. He drove really well. I think next year you'll be one of the look out for, because he is a quick young driver. So yeah.
Give us a bit of a background about your team, the Universal Motorsport team.
So Universal Motorsport started in 2016. I was one of the first drivers with Jeffrey and Sean Holtzhausen, all the old Polo Cup drivers, and yeah, from 2016 till today, it's going strong. Jeff has won the championship twice with them. Yeah, we have, like I say, Universal Motorsports is on the top. We got 1 and 2 in the championship. We have Lee Thompson helping out, who does all our data. Yeah, he couldn't be there on the weekend because I was a little boy that was born. But yeah, like I say, Universal Motorsport is definitely there at the top with the Signature Motorsports and the Trevor Bland Racing. Universal Motorsport has a big future ahead. We're wishing good luck to Jeff for this weekend coming at SWAT Corps. Hopes he can take another championship win for Universal. And
How much fun is it to race a Polo Cup car? I mean, it certainly reminds me. I mentioned it with Mike as well, as karting on a bigger scale. I mean, on Saturday, top 10 cars all within a second of each other. It must be flipping lots of fun.
yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive. No person will just jump in a Polo Cup car and think they're going to be the quickest. That's one thing I can guarantee you. To be quick in the Polo Cup car, you definitely need some practice. You can almost drive it like a go-kart till a certain point, but after that, it's got its own little tricks that you have to have learned by yourself, and all the car reacts. It's a front-wheel drive car, so if the car is sideways, you keep it planted so it can just bring it back. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive. You're doing high speeds in a Polo. You're doing, let's say, when you go to East London, you're doing 230, almost 240 kilometers in this Polo. And yeah, nobody would ever think that these Polos will do that speed. And yeah, we are definitely going quicker and quicker every year. Like Uncle Mark said just now, the car is improving. Technical-wise, anything can happen next year. We might be putting new turbos, boosting it more push to pass in the time, giving us more push to passes. So yeah, cars are definitely getting quicker. It's a lot of fun to drive, and yeah.
You certainly seem to have taken a fancy to Scribante and the Eastern Cape. You've been down here fairly often now. So what's the big attraction in the Eastern Cape for you?
I think the track is definitely one of them. And yeah, just the vibe, definitely. It's always good to be around good people, and definitely all the people that I've known for many years in karting. We can take you, for example, Uncle Brendan. I used to race against your son in the go-karts and the cadet. I've got old John Ray Marais, one of my good friends. Like I say, when my mom was still alive and that, we always used to be there. And yeah, just meeting new people, new person I met. Like, let's say in the racing was Kelsey Davidson. She was one of the new racing teammate, new racing friends that I was able to meet. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I can remember the first time I met you, like it was yesterday, as a 4-year-old in the cadet carts, and I mean, right from day one, you were always the guy to beat. You always seem to be wearing a target on your back. I mean, is it pretty much the same still?
Yeah, it's still. I got my 4 national championships in the karting. Yeah, everybody want to beat me. I think now I'm sitting here today doing Polo Cup. I don't think anybody or any family member, their kids will be sitting here because mom and dad are always looking after you at the track. They're always there for you. And I can say the same for my dad and my mom. Oh, if she was still here today, miss her a lot. But yeah, take my dad now, for example. Every weekend he was at the track with me in the go-karts. Even now in the Polo Cup, but now due to the whole coronavirus, it was the first time this year in 16 years of my racing career that he was at the track once this year. So yeah,
Sure.
definitely we can. Luckily, the virus goes away soon. We need the spectators back at the track. The whole vibe was not the same anymore. We had to go home early, so there was no more after parties. And yeah, hopefully next we can have a better year, more spectators, more racing, definitely, because this year we were only able to have 5 rounds. And yeah, I think with the more rounds, it will definitely make the championship closer. And yeah.
No, you must. You mentioned your dad. You must please pass on my fondest regards to your dad. I mean, he's a man that I've always had the highest regard for. It didn't matter, win or lose. He was always still exactly the same, friendly, lots of advice. So please do me that favor and pass my regards on to your dad. We mentioned karting. Do you get a chance to do much karting still?
I'm going to be honest. The last time I jumped in a kart was 3 years ago. It was a DD2 National here at Duvet, racing against Simon Moss, Bradley Liebenberg, all the top gunners in the DD2 class. So coming here, did already my few laps. Home track advantage as always. So the first session I was in the top 5, but there, karting fits and main circuit fits is not the same thing, that's for sure. Karting fits, you have to be fit in the arms, luckily with the power steering, so you don't need to put in that much effort. But yeah, last time I was in a kart was 3 years ago. So yeah, we're hoping to maybe do any world final here to try and win it again. But yeah, we'll see what next year holds.
You also had a stint in Legends, as far as I remember. That looked like a lot of fun as well.
Yes, so before I started Polo Cup, I raced the Onyx Legends. The reason why we did that was because we were too young to join maid circuits, and that was the only class that was available for my age. So for 2 years, I did the Onyx Legends. In 2015, we went to America to go race the finals, and yeah, unfortunately, I came second. American track, racing with all the Americans. You're racing on a NASCAR track, so you got the NASCAR crowd there, everybody's screaming, shouting. So yeah, it's a good vibe going over there also. So yeah.
And then I've seen your name popping up in iRacing circles as well. You also during the lockdown, did you also get bitten by the internet racing bug?
Yeah, so all my Cape Town friends and my other friends said I'll start getting a PC. So during level 4, I drove all the way to Durban to go buy a PC and came all the way back. And then yeah, from there, I've joined the TMSA League. So yeah, our TMSA League consists of iRacing and Assetto Corsa. With the also side, we can put South African tracks on. So when we did the A-Bath League, we were able to race Kyalami and Kalani, a few other tracks that we did. With the iRacing League that we have now, TMSA, we're doing the Jetta League. So there we're all racing on well-known international circuits, and yeah.
Great stuff. Let's talk next year. What's on the radar? Let's just have a look here. I see Debbie Maria. Clinton, you have a special dad. We miss your mom also. Indeed, a special lady she was. Yeah, very, very well known in motor racing circles, and yeah, she certainly is missed. Yeah, you mentioned next year your focus on Polo Cup. Is there anything else on the radar for you?
We're definitely looking into the Polo. It's a good car. It's a neat looking car. Yeah, so by the end of the year, we'll decide whether we will be doing the Super Polo or the Polo Cup again. Next year, also, we'd like to do, like I said, the World Finals. Need it again. Every year, it's getting closer and closer, which makes me want to get there again. And yeah, next year, we must have it comes. Also depends on what I'll be doing next year, because this year I'm doing my apprenticeship. So yeah.
Right, Clinton, we're going to wrap it there. We're starting to hit our limit here, so our rev limiter is starting to hit the red. So, but yeah, listen, thanks very much. It's been great catching up with you, and also nice seeing you on our home track down here, and we look forward to seeing a lot more of you down this way.
Yeah, thanks so much, Uncle Brendan. I really appreciate it. Yeah, seeing you at the end for the 3 hour, doing it with Jean-Ray Marais. So yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah.
You guys going to do it in the Nardini, I take it?
We're choosing between 3 cars: the Polo, the Mini, and the Lotus. So
okay.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's and here we go.
Okay, brilliant stuff. No, well,
Perfect.
thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the second place in the Polo Cup Championship. It was a great performance, and we wish you all the best for next season.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Uncle Brandon.
Right, folks, we're going to start wrapping the show there. There is regional racing this weekend in East London. And just looking through the entry list, I see there's quite a decent number of entries in there. And then we've got oval track racing from Victory Raceway, the Victory Racing that will also be live streamed once again with me doing live commentary. So daunting times for me. And then, yeah, as I said, mentioned earlier, Daryl and Paul will be assisting Dave Peterson with the live streaming for Swartkorps. So you can catch that up. The Swartkorps live streaming you can catch on the up to 60 seconds page. Folks, once again, just a reminder to please share the show across all of your social media platforms, as the show is about you, the racers out there. It's a platform for you not only to promote yourself, but your sponsor as well. As we mentioned earlier, we are now offering live streaming for events. So should anybody be interested, please contact Daryl on 082-428-4558 to make arrangements. Or alternatively, you can contact me. That's it, folks. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see so many people that have watched the show with us. From me, Brendan Kelly, it's goodbye until next time.